So, what's going on, Kate?
This is the same exact thing we did last time. Well, you're coming to visit this weekend.
I know.
Woo!
I'm terrified of this plane ride.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant of our family, and I was like,
That too.
Sorry.
You know,
it's
that
okay.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm so excited. It's a holiday season, you know? It's got the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, the tree's up. Look at the tree.
Oh, look at my tree. How
Come
about
look
this?
at my tree. Look at the tree. Oh,
Don't
I
touch
love that
the tree.
Get away from the
Get
tree,
away
please.
from the tree. God, I miss it. I love the tree.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, 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 sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello there.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, listeners. I hope you brought your
Sneakers.
Band-Aids. Oh. Yeah, definitely bring sneakers. Oh my God.
Your office
Please do.
Christmas work party spirit? I don't know. I don't think you
All
should
right.
go. Don't go.
You know what?
Okay.
Let me introduce ourselves so you know who's dying hard, because we made that joke off air and I wanted to include it.
Wow.
All right, so we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And we have a very special guest this episode. It's our cousin, Dave.
Hello.
Hey.
I've been waiting for this for so long to finally be a special guest.
Oh my
It is
God.
so
I've
true.
listened to countless episodes and I've been dying to be part of this. So I'm so
Have
happy.
you been dying hard to be part of this?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. so
A
sorry.
third time and you lose your shoes, Katie.
I'm actually coming to you live from Nakatomi Plaza.
Hey!
Oh my God.
Get out of the 30th floor.
That would be really awesome if you did that. I'm not going to lie. But don't do
Dave,
that.
what's our movie that you picked?
Well, the request was we should do a Christmas movie. So I know there's a lot of controversy behind this, but I truly believe, I know it's people say it is or it isn't, but Die Hard is a Christmas movie and we're going to prove that. So that's
Yes.
why I selected Die
Yeah.
Hard.
Okay, I 100% agree with you.
I don't know why people don't agree with
Yeah.
that.
What's their problem?
I don't know. This got a lot of Christmas songs in it.
I'm picking this movie over Love Actually any day.
All the time.
Any day.
Every time. Yep.
Well, Katie, it's interesting you said that because when you talk about, to me, one of the criteria of a Christmas movie is if the first song you hear is a Christmas movie or the last song or both.
Oh, that's
And
this
I-
movie.
In this case, it's both.
Yeah.
It's literally a Christmas soundtrack.
They
It
say
is.
Merry Christmas a lot of times because I wrote it down.
Wait, listeners, I want to give a little backstory. So this cousin, Dave, if you can hear his voice and you're a true listener, he is on our father's side. Do you hear that deep kind of New York, but not really Jersey? You know, it's deep, it's there. He's got things to say. He's not Rodney Dangerfield, but he's a distant, relative. I think that's critical because you have some great stories of our dad.
Oh, God.
And I feel like, I hope we somehow incorporate lots of them in this episode.
In Die Hard? Okay.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
We'll weave it in.
Excuse me, first of all, who did you go to work with, Dave, when you were young?
I did. I interned with your father on Wall Street.
What? I didn't know that?
I did.
Oh, that's so crazy.
I think it was either a week or 2 weeks interning with your dad. And
Lord.
You poor soul.
I got lunch for people. I did errands. I was on the floor with him. It was
You were
fantastic.
Argyle.
I was Argyle. I was Argyle. I was.
Oh
Okay,
my
wait.
God.
we need to talk about that more, but we do a synopsis, and I think we hate doing it. So what do you think about doing like a quick synopsis for people that maybe they didn't watch it, but they kind of remember the movie, and you could give them a little spiel?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a New York City cop who's separated from his wife, who's making a surprise trip, or you think it's a surprise, you're not really sure, maybe surprise for his kids to travel across the country from New York, because he's a new NYPD cop, to California, where his estranged wife has this new career, budding career, at the Nakatomi Plaza.
Oh my God.
And he's arriving to, visit her at her corporate Christmas party, which is this fancy 30th floor Christmas party that you mentioned before. And at the same time, there are either whatever you want to call them, terrorists, or in some cases they call them robbers.
Yep.
I like the word robbers because it's, makes you feel like a little kid, like cops and robbers. So technically it's a cop and robber story.
It really is.
In reality, we just exposed that. And they try to take over the building and steal something, and he's the only person who can save them because he just happens to be there because he's the uninvited guest. So his surprise visit actually foils, I like that word foils too, because it's like a cartoon thing. He foils the robbers because he's an uninvited guest, and he's got the New York know-how and the accent and the whole thing.
Boy, does he.
Should we do this podcast with walkie-talkies and just keep saying, who are you?
No, I refuse to edit that. I will not be doing that.
Wait, can you talk also about the love affair between Carl Winslow and Bruce Willis?
Oh my God.
The cop, who is...
I didn't write his name down. I just called him the cop.
I called him Carl Winslow because he's from Family Matters.
Family Matters.
I took some notes before this, rewatching this film, and I wrote down, is the Family Matters dad, is he Urkel's dad or Urkel's girlfriend's dad?
Yes.
I'm not really sure. Either way, he's involved with Urkel somehow.
I think he was the main family, so not Urkel.
Urkel always bothered him.
Yes.
Similar to all his bosses in this movie. Yikes.
Oh my God. Yeah, there were a lot of people who we've done different movies on who were in this. And I was like, oh, it's that person. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Multiple times during this movie, I actually said I love the 80s out loud because there's a lot of cliches in the 80s. And you mentioned his bosses. I mean, Paul Gleason, the guy who played his boss with the chief of police. I mean, is that the same character from Breakfast Club? Like, literally, I thought he was going to give him detention. Yes. He was going to give John McClane detention.
It's the same universe. That's his weekend job. As he's the police captain,
Exactly. He leaves detention and goes right to the negotiation of the hostages.
And I gotta say, he was awful in both. So, my God.
Yep.
And then we also had the Goonies, and we
one
of the
Fratelli brothers. You're the one guy. But he died pretty quick. So
yeah, he died pretty quick, and I kind of appreciate that. And then, of course, the evil villain is Professor Snape, Alan Rickman.
That's true.
Respect.
The other villain, the Goonies, are you referring to one of the Johnsons, the FBI, had the same name? Like, no relation.
Two Johnsons.
They actually said no relation to. It was kind of funny that the Johnsons.
And they got on the walkie-talkie the one time. He's like, it's Johnson, the other one. It's like, okay.
Like, they don't like it, but yet they joke about it.
Yes, I loved it.
And it kind of fits that whole blueprint of the 80s where every cop and FBI agent are just complete idiots. Like, they don't know what they're doing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I had notes about that. I was like, did the FBI agree to this? Because they're kind of being made to be like ding-dongs.
Didn't look good for them.
Wow.
I think we should just sequentially just drive through this, like all the broken windows in this movie. What do you think?
Wow,
I like
absolutely.
It. Okay.
Argyle, speed. Let's do it.
So, Dave, I have a question since you do a lot of business travel.
Right.
Do you take your shoes off and put your toes
Say
on the
no.
carpet?
Please say no.
I have never done that, mainly because I'm not really sure if the hotels, if they vacuum the floors. Like, I'm concerned about the cleanliness of the floors.
I was like, wait, did they like screw up a scene and didn't have shoes for him? And so they had to create a whole plot around how he just doesn't wear shoes this whole time? I was like, what is this?
I also felt like he could have put his shoes on when shit was going down, but it. Fine. It's fine. I'll believe it. Shoeless. Fine.
It's kind of, you know, it's funny. I was surprised rewatching it that was the opening scene.
Yeah.
They had to justify the bare feet.
Yes.
Also, the other thing too, which is big in the 80s too, is that people tend to clean up a lot. Like, I don't understand the cleaning up. Like, he shows up, he's surprising her. He's like, I need to go clean up. Like, he's got to go in the bathroom and wash up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like Tom Cruise in Top Gun. Remember, he went on that date and he's like, I need to take a shower. I need to clean up. Like, everybody's cleaning up. You don't clean up now. There's nobody, you know, you wouldn't be going in the bathroom and cleaning up.
No. And also, what office has a shower in there? First of all,
Dude.
the size of these offices, my God.
There was like a koi pond in the one. I was like, are these fish okay? I mean,
It was a very nice koi pond, too. I was impressed with the koi pond.
Also,
my God.
so first of all, does your company still do like office Christmas parties, like in person with a big tree? Like, who the heck does that anymore?
On Christmas
No.
Eve, so you're forced to not see your family. Yeah,
No.
what?
We had a virtual Christmas party this week, so it was virtual trees and everything was on Zoom. So
God, yeah.
But see, that's safer if somebody tries to come in and kidnap everyone, at least, right?
So in reality, Die Hard would have never happened today, mainly because of the Zoom meetings and also
Yep.
the presence of a cell phone would have ruined the whole movie.
Exactly. Bridget, I feel like you always bring that point up.
First of all, the entire movie is around them stealing paper from
It
a
is.
physical vault. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know, I did make a note of that. Like, who has $600 million in bearer bonds in a vault in their
Actually,
office?
You know who might? Our grandpa.
Grandpa! That's better than his mattress, at least.
Dave, did you know when he passed away, Dad
Oh my
said that he had
God.
all these like bonds, but they were for like the smallest amount of money. And after I think he had to find like 12, and after he found them, it was like he only had like $200, and he was so pissed that he had to like go try to find all these things from his accounts. Because you know how he wasn't he was tight with his money.
Yeah.
He was very good with his money. And that was a big thing, too, back then. You would go to, like, a christening or a birth, and you'd bring bonds. Like, that's what it was. So you had to, like, basically work for the money when you're 17 or 18. Like, you had to take them back to the bank. And some of the banks look at them like, what are these? And you had to cash them in. Even my kids were the same thing. I had so many bonds for my kids when they turned 17 or 18. They had to go and turn them in.
Oh my gosh.
And some didn't even, they didn't even make money on them. They actually lost money on the bonds.
Oh, God, no.
Well,
Dear
this
America.
is typical because the 80s were just exploding things. $600 million just ripped up, and the amount of cocaine. I was like, this is out of
my God.
control.
The one guy.
Ellis,
He's just snorting cocaine on not his desk, on Holly's desk, which that's another point I want to make. Why this is a Christmas movie. The lady's name is Holly.
Yes. Excellent. I like that.
I think we all need to just add that to the list of...
That's in the Christmas column right there. You're right.
Okay, wait, so we got distracted, but he gets on the plane and you're like, okay, he's typical Bruce Willis, which means he breathes more than he talks, and he really just, we're waiting for him to do action moves, and we were realizing he's flying to, like you said, the wife, that they're not together, but he gets Argyle, he meets Argyle, who was sent from, what was the guy's name? The boss?
Takashi?
Apparently he wasn't Nakatomi, so I don't know, but he's...
I think it was...
Yeah.
Yes, but he was sent by the boss a
right.
limo, and he looked like he was like 17 years old.
I think he was, actually.
It was his first time in a limo, yeah.
Yeah, this is what Dave did when he worked for our dad. He drove the limo around.
Did you drive the limo
New York Stock Exchange?
I had to get a car. I didn't drive, but I had to get the driver, and the sandwiches too, by the way. I remember,
my God.
Not to go back, but one of the best parts that whole week was your dad said, you got to get lunch for Shearson Lehman. And he goes, and they like Cubans. And I had no idea I go, what's a Cuban? Like, I didn't even know what that was.
Oh my God.
And then he knew a place like around the corner down this like dark alley near the Wall Street. Like, go there.
Great.
Ask for so-and-so. And then they would give you a box of Cubans and sandwiches. And then you bring it. So it was very funny. I learned a lot. That it was fantastic. I look back. It was such a great time. Those couple of weeks.
Oh my God,
amazing
I love
time.
that.
And I stayed at your house. I took the train with your dad, and we took the train. We came back. I slept at your house for the week, for the 2 weeks.
Oh my God! And wait, didn't he give you like a beer on the train ride? And you were like, "What are we doing?"
No, well, yeah, it was like either a bar car or you can get on the train right where there was a bar so you could bring it on the train. There was like a certain car you could be on, and it was great too. I was so happy. It was fantastic.
Oh my God. I'll give you this. If our dad is one thing, it's fun.
It was so much fun. I had a great time.
Wow.
And you guys were little, so I would hang out with you guys when I got back to the house.
Oh my
We'd
God.
watch movies and stuff. And
you were always the coolest cousin. Always.
Yeah.
I never remember you ever being like, ugh, you're annoying or mean ever. You're just the best. And you're still the best.
Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Motherfucker. Wait, so Argyle picks him up, and I gotta say, really awkward conversation happening. What's happening here?
Argyle's probing. There wasn't a fan.
And why does he have a big giant teddy bear? Why is Bruce Willis carrying a big teddy bear? What's happening?
Well, it was the 80s. Maybe he didn't think he could get one in LA. I don't know.
Honestly, wait, I'm gonna piggyback off that because Bridge, do you remember how I think it was either Dad or Grandpa bought a giant Smurf stuffed animal for Jimmy when they lived in Brooklyn, and like one of them like rode with it on the subway? That was a thing. It might have been Grandpa, honestly. So I agree. Big stuffed animals, very 80s.
He couldn't carry that on. Like, it was too big for the overhead. So where was that? Like, they didn't show him go to baggage claim.
Yeah, did he check that bear?
I mean,
Did he buy it a seat?
You know what? It was the 80s. The plane had so much room. It was the 80s.
You could smoke
the
on there. Bring your
room.
handguns. It's all cool.
He smoked in the airport. He was smoking right there in the airport. Yeah, he was.
Oh my God.
Nobody cares.
It was
Wow.
completely pre-everything where you could do whatever you want. You
Now,
really could.
on the flip side, you then saw Holly, who you're like, all right, she's this bigwig, and she's like, oh, is John home? You know, and talking to who was that? Like that was her what?
Paulina,
like the nanny, and just
Paulina.
Yeah, so you got this tension that you're like, all right, they kind of like each other, but like they're not together, and what's happening? And I gotta say, if I was in that position, and then my like separated spouse shows up to my Christmas party, I don't know how I'd feel about that. I'd be like, okay, you talked to my boss and they sent a limo? Do they need to know our business? I know this is awkward.
Yeah.
HR needs to be involved.
Makes you wonder, like, did John McClane call the boss behind her back? Like, I mean, it doesn't seem like a John McClane kind of thing to do.
No.
It really doesn't. And then Argyle the whole time is like, okay, I got this limo. I'll just wait for you. And nowadays, with people's attention spans, no way. No limo driver's waiting that long.
I would have drove somewhere else and then missed the whole thing.
No,
Yeah. It might have ruined everything, honestly. I mean, it's a good thing he was there. Every time he popped up, I was like, oh yeah, Argyle's here too, everyone. I wanted like the audience applause noise like on sitcoms when the guest comes. Like that was
So
what I
that
wanted
would be
for him.
Dave like running around the city getting a Cuban sandwich. Like he would just be like, I'm still here. I got
in
rye
the back
bread.
alleys.
Exactly.
Oh,
I got a pickle.
The Uber driver would have left in 5 minutes and it would have charged him $15.
Yeah, definitely.
And he would've got a bad rating.
2022. Yeah.
John McClane would have got 1 star.
Oh my God.
Oh
well,
my
I gotta
God.
say, I do appreciate this movie does get right into the action. We're not doing
Amen.
the family drama for too long, because literally
Oh.
it's like, wow, they're reunited, magical. And then the music's like, dun dun dun, here's Hans Gruber and the gang.
They come right in.
Start killing people right away. They kill the security guard right away, and I think another guy too, right? Like some guards. Oh man.
Dude, Hans Gruber, what an epic villain name.
Yeah.
But seeing him so young, you're like, Alan Rickman, my goodness.
And I feel like this was his first like major movie role.
It was.
Oh.
He didn't want to do it because he didn't want to do action because he was like this serious actor.
Oh, well, good thing he was there, all right?
And I did some research on this too, if this is okay for the show.
Are you kidding? This is incredible.
We need facts because we usually just say things that are incorrect. So.
This movie was monumental, and we can make light of it now, but it was monumental at the time for it changed how we watched action movies because someone like Bruce Willis, he was in a show called Moonlighting, and it was a comedy,
right.
and he was a comedic role. On the original poster, they didn't put his face on there because they didn't want people to think it was a comedy because he wasn't an action star. And they actually asked Schwarzenegger, De Niro.
Yes, I read that.
Richard Gere. And it kind of reminded me, like, after that movie, this is responsible for probably 50 of his terrible B movies since then, because he became such a star and such an action star that he could do whatever he wanted. Almost like Keanu Reeves did Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and then he did Speed, and he became a star. It's one of those like transformational movies where, you know, and he used all that humor in there with those one-liners, you know, like, I like how instead of having a narrator or having them show us background on the movie, they just had him talk to himself, you know?
Yeah.
He's telling, he's saying what he's thinking. Oh no, they're doing this, they're doing that. And it's like, it's telling the audience what's going on.
I mean, I feel like I would do that in a crisis situation. So I was like, yeah, checks out.
I thought that. I go, he is so good with his, like, physical acting.
Yeah.
Like,
great.
Kind of how, like, Jim Carrey is funny with, like, physical comedy. And we ripped on Bruce Willis when we did Pulp Fiction because, like, he's very much like, I'm a man. Like, I talk like this, I have a bald head and muscles, I'm a man, you know? Like, ugh, I don't want to be anything but a man. And, like, this you got to see a softer side of him because I'm pretty sure him and Carl Winslow were in love. And I thought it was beautiful. He thought he was gonna die, and he like show his softer side. I thought it was nice.
He did. I wish he didn't have to face death to apologize to the ones he loved, but it was nice.
Yeah. But oh boy, we get into this action.
Well, there is a lot of action, but he also uses, if you think about it, he uses his smarts, like uses his brains.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can relate to him as a viewer because he's trying to figure things out. Because most of the stuff that he figures out is really not physical. It's not like Schwarzenegger or he's not out muscling people.
I could not relate to him hanging himself out of different windows and things. That I was like, not for me personally. I would have just, I don't know, hidden a corner or something.
He did a lot of window jumping. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and like hanging off of something that he like wedged into something else, and oh my gosh, it was crazy.
Well, that's one of the most iconic scenes though, when he hangs off and falls in the ductwork, and then he uses the lighter, and he looks at it and he sits there and he's, you know, he makes the comment about come out to the coast, visit, you know.
Yo, okay, what was with the like shitting on California? Like he's in the airport and like some girl like runs and makes out with someone, and then like I feel like Argyle says something and he keeps being like California. I'm like, I don't understand what he meant by that. I was like, I think he's just pissed that the wife moved there for the job, I guess. Which honestly, don't know if it's a great move after this day.
I mean, she doesn't have a boss anymore. No. What's happening?
She did. I guess in theory she is promoted, but in a very awkward, terrible way.
God, Rich.
True. You make a good point, though. She did advance in the company and
very
crisis.
Quickly. Yeah, exactly. Her crisis management was top dog. Okay, so let's talk about how. So we get into the 80s of the dude doing coke. We see another couple having sex in an office. We see boobs. We see lots of big 80s hair. I was like, this is a wild Christmas party.
Pregnant woman drinking that everyone's cool with. They're like, that baby can tend the bar. I was like, damn.
Wow.
She actually encourages her to drink.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, okay, super duper. And then the giant shoulder pads bridge. How am I the first one bringing this up? Come on, get on it.
The whole movie is just so 80s that, shoulder pads, oversized suits, then talking about suits when suits are nice. And oh my God. They dressed up a lot back then. Now we just wear yoga pants, you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yoga pants, and I don't know, we have like athletic companies making work pants. You know, we've given up.
I'm into it.
That guy Ellis, he's literally the guy from the 80s that, where what does he say? Something about, I conduct business deals for breakfast? Or, what does he say? Negotiate big deals $1 million deals for breakfast, he says something like that?
Oh my God. Okay, when you were interning with our dad in the stock market,
we're just gonna keep going back.
Was there
so
some like total jerk like this? Because I feel like this is an archetype that I would think is like at the stock market, snorting coke, saying dumb stuff, and being like, "Get out of my way, kid." You know, I feel like that was like a thing.
Well, where I was on the stock market with your dad, we were downstairs. We were on the floor, so there was none of that.
Okay,
we had the jackets on. No. That was probably upstairs. That was more of the Bud Fox, Wall Street, Gordon Gekko. But that guy who, that lime where he says, Hans, Bubby. Apparently, it's one of the most iconic lines in the movie. I read that he actually ad-libbed that line.
Really?
So
Thank God.
He threw it in there, and, Alan Rickman, like Hans, why he's so surprised is that because that wasn't expected, so they kept it in the movie, because his look on his face it just looked like he didn't understand, but it was just so funny.
I love that.
And now it's so iconic, Hans, Bubby.
There were a lot of really great lines in this movie. Like, I wrote a lot of quotes that I thought were so funny. Like, when the terrorists come in and they're, like, getting the boss guy, he's like, what kind of terrorists are you? Just, like, so many. I mean, there's a lot of iconic ones, but even ones that I didn't remember, I wrote down. I was like, oh, this is great. Do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza, lady?
Well, that,
when he
first of all,
911 and they'd ignore him. Oh, my God.
How great is that? Machine guns on a 911 call, and they say, send the black and white over to check it out.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
damn.
God.
That's
Hate it. But John, this is where we get no shoes because the bad guys bust in and he's feeling his feet on the carpet. Oh, God. I think we can blame the guy on the plane for this, so that sucks.
We can definitely blame him.
It's all his fault. The whole thing's his fault.
It is. It is. And he sneaks away and he has his own gun because he's a policeman. So now it's like everyone's being held hostage and he's kind of just like figuring out what's happening. And he's in the building and...
But he has a gun. And I have to say, like...
Yeah.
He had to be some sort of job that gave him a gun. Because if not, it was like, he wasn't gonna live. But
yeah.
I feel like, too, I don't know, he kind of was surprised, but then he, like, quickly got into, like, it felt like a video game. Like, it was like, do-do-do-do-do-do, going to the top floor, and there's... and it's an empty warehouse because it's still being
all the side
filled,
quests.
and they're like, they were so technical. They were like, the team of 10 villains? They were like, all right, you chop this wire, you hit the elevators, you get the vault code. I was like, this is a high intelligent operation.
Very organized.
Well,
these guys studied.
It's funny you say video game because, like, I thought all the computers looked like Atari.
Yes.
They definitely did.
It was embarrassing.
Oh
Like, looking at the computers, like, he was like playing a video game trying to, like, break the code, too.
Oh
of
my
the vault.
God.
He's like, I gotta beat the Pong and then I'll
Exactly.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
and so the physical vault is in this building, which, okay. And so they have to go to the physical vault, and then there are 7 layers of a code. There's, what they explained was 6 actual codes they had to find, and he used his computer smarts to figure that out. And then the 7th was, let's make sense of this, electromagnetic fields. Like, what?
Yeah, that's
one of the writers,
right?
One of the writers were like, let's test out big words and see if the audience knows what it is.
All this future technology. Yeah.
But they have to blow it up, right?
I don't think they had to blow it up. I think that was their diversion to get out of there, which is why they needed it. They kept saying they need the detonators, but I didn't really understand what they needed the detonators for. I guess to blow the roof.
I think so, because then he said we had to blow... He's like, why'd you have to blow up the building, Hans? Which I was like, yeah, that's a good question. Answer that. And he was like, oh, so it looks like we're dead, and then we get away with it. And I was like, oh, all right, that's a good answer,
I mean,
Hans.
he was...
Damn it.
Professor Snape was really smart. I'll give him that.
He's a professor. He planned things out.
I love that part. When I talk about the smarts they use, the scene where John McClane meets Hans Gruber in the hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I read that's because in my research, that was completely ad-libbed. They threw him in that scene, and they ad-libbed the whole thing.
Wow.
So that was all, who was smarter than the other? Because if you think about it, Hans, when they said, what's your name? He looks up and he says, Bill Clay. Now, he looked at the list of offices, and he saw that there was a W. Clay. So he didn't know if it could have been William, it could have been anything.
Yeah.
It could have been Walter. He just went with Bill Clay and changed it. And then, you could see that McClane looked at the list to see if that guy's name was on the list. And then he still didn't give him a loaded gun, which was smart.
Yeah.
And he used the American accent so that he wouldn't be detected as being one of the terrorists or one of the robbers, as I like to call them.
I think he still kind of sounded like Hans Gruber, but yeah, I mean,
It wasn't great. It was okay.
It was, yeah.
I was impressed. I'm not gonna lie. That scene, I was impressed, and I was impressed when he shot the glass because he saw he didn't have shoes on, and he was like, "I'll get this motherfucker with some sneaky glass on the floor," and I was like, "Wow, that's so smart."
Very smart.
Yeah. Shoot the glass.
Hans Gruber!
Ah!
Do you think when he hangs off the building with the hose and he swings his body, you think he'd have enough power to
No.
to break through the glass?
No.
Well-
This is magic.
That's where I'd be sitting on the roof that already blew up because I'd be too scared to hang off like he did.
Katie's like, 1, 2, oh, okay,
Three and a half.
He did acknowledge how crazy it was when he said it. He goes, "What are you doing, John?" But
Yeah.
it's kind of ironic when he breaks through the glass. He happens to break through right at the 30th floor, which I thought was very convenient.
Oh, how convenient.
How many floors were in this building, do we think?
Yo.
Like, how many? What do you think? What's the step count?
I feel like 35, because it was like 30, 33, 31, 30, 30, 30,
That's what I was
31.
going to say. Like, he was like, now I'm at the roof. And I was like, how'd you get there, John? That was quick. Damn, get the gold medal for running.
Yo, but
Oy.
I thought about this because when they first go to the 30th floor, they take the CEO guy and then they move him to like another floor and then, right?
Do they? Or
Yeah.
are they? I thought they were...
They
So
went
I
to a
just
different
kept-
floor
They
for
took
his
them
office.
to like where the vault was.
I kept like adding floors and I'm like, I think we're in like the 3 to 5 range. I think that's where we're at.
we need a map.
Yo, but I learned a valuable lesson, which is if I am a CEO of a giant corporation that has millions and millions of dollars in a vault and someone says, what's the code? I'm not going to say I don't know it. I'm going to try to keep myself alive because what I learned is if you say you don't know it and you're not useful, you're going to die. And I thought, wow, they're not messing around.
Well, it was a great move for the movie because then it really made it serious. Because all
Yeah.
the jokes and all the, the likable characters, you even liked Hans Gruber, and then all of a sudden when he shot him, you're like, okay, this movie's serious.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I do. I remember the first time I ever saw this movie, like that part, I was like, whoa, we got serious.
I know.
Damn.
And I
He
liked
did.
him. I was like, oh, woof.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I know why Holly was promoted to where she was. She handled it well.
She literally, the next time you see her, she's like, all right, so you killed my boss, now I'm in charge, and we got a pregnant lady, so get us a sofa.
She's
And I was
like,
like, wow, Holly got over that real
All I
quick.
want is the bathroom. Okay, you don't want poop on the floor. I was like, wow, this okay. I was like, all right, I see what she's doing there.
And she was smart. She put the photo down so no one would know,
Oh my
that
god,
her-
I
that's
like
that
right.
I did like that sneaky little subplot thing going on.
So
That was a good
smart.
suspense, though, when Hans was sitting there. You knew the picture was right there, and he's looking around saying, what was she looking at? Because she
Yeah.
glanced at the photo, and he didn't pick up on it. He picked up
Wow.
on something was there, but he couldn't figure out what she was looking at.
Yeah.
Yo,
That was
he was
interesting.
super smart.
Well, and then Hans, after he kills the CEO, he goes, he won't be joining us for the rest of his life. I was like, oh my god, these lines.
I
are
gotta
great.
tell you, I'm down for like a new Die Hard where Hans Gruber's like son comes
God.
back and
No,
is like
not
the
again.
smartest like terrorist ever.
But they still gotta play Atari to open
That's
the vault.
actually part 4.
Part
Part
four?
4. Part 4 is Hans Gruber's brother, I think.
Oh
What?
my god!
No.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons plays.
Oh.
It's Die Hard. Or what? Part 4 is
Die
Die
Hard
Harder. Die Harder.
Dust?
Die
Oh.
hardest? Die
No,
most
Die
hardest.
No, it's part 4 with it's Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis.
Wow.
They're together, and it's called Die Harder. It's part 4, I think it is, or 3 or 4.
Oh, God.
Wow.
And the criminal is somehow related to Hans Gruber. It's either his cousin or his brother.
Wow.
So they bring him
Incredible.
back because they even show the scene of him falling off the building just to remind everybody who he's related to.
That is a great scene, so I don't blame him.
Speaking of lines, what you just said before, he actually makes a comment about Schwarzenegger somehow in this.
Yes!
So
Oh,
it's
I do
almost
remember
like,
that.
yeah, and then later on, not far after that, he's in the room where the one guy tries to kill him, and he says, next time you have a chance to kill someone, I would do it. And then
Yeah.
he kills him, and he goes, thanks for the advice. That's,
Yeah.
that's exactly an Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of line, you know what I mean?
Oh my
Yes.
god.
It's almost like he said it in the accent. Thanks for the advice.
Because we did Commando. I feel
Yeah.
like now that you say that, Dave, like that was like the same. Every time he killed someone, he'd have like a stupid
Yeah.
line that you're like, oh.
Yeah.
But here's what I liked about
Consider
Bruce.
divorced. He says consider
Yeah.
divorce.
Well,
Hope
and
you're insured.
I love it. And I liked Bruce Willis, like, got a little like, whoa, oh my god, like he got you
Yeah.
kind of like, yeah, this ain't good, you know? Like,
Yeah.
where I feel
Yeah.
like Arnold Schwarzenegger is like, it's fine, my hand is ripped off, la la la, you know? You're like, I have no emotion from you. Okay, wait, we need to talk about Carl Winslow because, like, when are we introducing him? His wife is pregnant. We find out he killed a child. wild.
That got dark.
It did.
Didn't need to, I think.
I think he could have just, like, ruined an operation. I don't know if he needed... But I had such feels at the end when he saves his life. This is why I think Bruce and Carl should be together. That was
the redemption.
That was like beautiful.
They could be a thruple. I don't know.
They could be a thruple.
That's not a thing in the 80s.
I mean, Holly has work to do, so you know
she's busy. Yeah, she's got a corporation to run now. I love when he kills the first guy and you don't have to, but he does it, writes a message. Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. Second Christmas reference.
That's a second one.
Puts a hat on him.
Puts a Christmas hat on him. And again, would I think to write a witty gotcha message? No, I wouldn't.
I really wouldn't.
Crying.
I really wouldn't. What did he write that with? His finger?
It was like blood, I think.
But like he dipped his finger in blood? Gross.
Well, he had a marker. He had a marker because he was writing the names.
Oh, never mind. It's a marker. It's more normal.
Well, on his wrist, he wrote down like some of the terrorist names.
So
like he wrote Hans. Yeah, he was smart.
Never would have done that.
Never
well, you know what's interesting too is that he's so smart that if you notice when he learns that one of the guys, the guy with the long blonde hair, he's the conductor from the Money Pit. That guy.
Wow.
He finds out his name is Carl. Instead of writing it with a C, he writes it with a K. So he even translated into German. Like he wrote down Carl with a K. Like who would put that in your arm? Like why would it matter? You know, his name's Carl.
Bruce
Which is
Willis.
interesting because the Carl, this is kind of strange. This is a weird reference though, but think about, like, let's go back to the police chief from Breakfast Club.
Oh,
that
yes.
guy.
Paul
He was
Gleason.
he was made to look ridiculous by Carl the janitor. Remember Carl came in and made him look silly?
Yes!
And now he's made to look ridiculous by Carl the terrorist.
I love it!
Should we write a Reddit thread about that? Oh my god, I love that connection.
Oh my god, if you have a shitty boss, hire a Carl.
Get rid of
Take him out. Carl, Carla, anything in the Carl department.
That's the lesson. Yep. Oh my god. I can't.
But basically, Bruce Willis is like, "Why do you cops suck?" And it's funny because he's a cop, and he's like, "Can someone please have 911 help me?" And then every cop comes, turns around, comes, but not Carl Winslow. He's like, I'm gonna check it out. And then, oof, that body falling on his car. Whoa.
I was so nervous for Carl. I thought he was going to die when he went in the building. And then I was like, phew, he made it out. And then Bruce Willis almost kills him with a body. And he doesn't mean to. And then I'm like, okay, he made it. And then Carl's speeding backwards. And I'm like, okay, he'll stop eventually. But no, he like falls off like a ledge. And I was like,
that was a pretty serious accident.
He avoided death many times. Like, he needs to buy a lottery ticket.
Almost got shot by the Huey Lewis guy at the front desk. Kind of looked like Huey Lewis.
God!
Didn't he?
Yo.
He tried to fake it saying he had $50 on the game. It was so fake. It wasn't good.
See, my God, it was
Carl
so
should have
scary.
picked up on that. See that?
He should have.
He did.
That's right. No one's a Penn State fan. We all should have known.
McClane would have picked up on that.
One of the things that I think was also awesome about this movie is the amount of explosions.
So
there
many.
Was so many explosions that I was like, how is this building still standing?
Yeah. Yeah. And like even the machine guns, I'm like, this is like the building's like under construction too. I'm like, this doesn't seem stable, but okay, it's fine.
I do not think so. But when they came in and they just like snuck in like thieves through the night, I didn't think they had that many weapons. They had rocket launchers. They had boxes of dynamite. I was like, where are you from? And the one dude with the blonde long hair, I felt like he had like 17 brothers. I'm like,
that was Carl.
That's Carl with a K.
That's
Carl with a K.
Okay. So he wanted to like revenge his brother, but then I felt like I saw more of him. And then how did he like pop up at the end like Jason from like Friday the 13th? Like how did that happen?
Bridge, I'm so glad you brought that up. Think about this. He was so high up in the building, hanging. He was hung by a chain.
Yeah. Chain.
So somehow he must have came back to life, took the chain off, somehow made his way down all those floors through the lobby because it was already controlled right now, pretending to be like a prisoner and then pulling the gun out. There's no, it's so unrealistic.
He was out for blood. # Michael Myers. All right.
He was. But we
Literally.
needed that to redeem the other Carl.
Which I gotta
To be the
say,
savior,
that was when I cried.
Bridget.
It was very.
God,
we needed the unrealistic resurrection
It was
after
emotional.
the unrealistic fight. He was part of the unrealistic '80s fight where they fight forever, where there's no way anybody could survive that.
Yes,
he could have killed Bruce Willis in that one scene. He literally the gun up against him, and then he's like, "This is personal," and then it just turns into a fist fight. And I was like, "Please, what?
Why take a chance?"
What? And that's very Arnold Schwarzenegger. I feel like anyone that Arnold would fight was like, he could have died multiple times, but they would just be too chatty.
Yeah, well, that does happen. Hans does it at the end, too. He does a little villain monologue. And
he does, about the Westerns, where he tries to correct him about, who was it? Was it Roy Rogers?
Roy Rogers.
Something.
No, he says John Wayne instead of Gary Cooper or something, right?
Oh my God. And you know, I know that like American movies do this a lot, where like the evil villain is always German and we're always the American to come save them. And I feel like the whole like cowboy thing, I was like, oh God, 70s, 80s, you know, just kept riding all that out. And now it's like, all right, America.
Yeah. Yeah, a little different now.
But yeah, the yippee-ki-yay is part of the cowboy. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
That should be the anthem of the 80s, because think about it, there's no lawsuits in the 80s either. You can punch a reporter right in the face, he's not going to sue you.
Yo, thank God that guy got punched, because I hated that subplot so much.
I thought about that. I go, she's on camera punching him. Not a good move. But now I'm like, oh yeah, nobody cared back then.
Nobody cared.
Nobody sued McDonald's for the hot coffee. No. That wasn't happening in the 88.
No. You could punch a reporter. Especially after he threatens to deport your maid. Or no, your nanny.
I hated it.
Honestly, in a way, the good old days. But in a way not. We don't condone violence.
Unless you're John McClane, then do it.
Wow.
So, all right. Where are we? So, I like the walkie-talkies. I want to talk about the walkie-talkies, not on a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, how did the lines become only the cop and then only Hans?
I don't care. And I don't know the answer to that.
They were all listening all the time. Who would ever have a real conversation if you knew everybody was listening?
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody.
Yeah, and I just I thought that was so funny how the officer was like, I'm here, John. Thank God you're here. I was like, this is so absurd.
They're in love.
But I'm into it.
His boss heard the whole conversation and heard him being concerned about other cops getting hurt, but yet was so against him. It made no sense. He heard everybody heard every conversation, so it wasn't just like Urkel's not Urkel's dad. Urkel's girlfriend's dad. Urkel's girlfriend's dad was not the only one who should know how good of a guy John McClane was. They all should know.
I know. Yeah. And then to your point earlier about the 911, they're like, sir, this is an emergency line. I was like, he's talking to a cop. What's happening?
Yeah.
I was like, this is a magical walkie-talkie.
No one respected him at all. Think about even the 7-Eleven guys. Like, this is for my pregnant wife, these Twinkies. Sure they are. Like, what?
I thought that was rude as hell.
They're shaming him. They're shaming him for buying Twinkies. So what?
Everybody likes Twinkies, okay?
Yo,
I like Twinkies.
Yeah.
We saw Coke on the table, people making out, sexual harassment, pregnant ladies drinking, and you're telling me we're going to focus on the Twinkie fat joke? Get out of town. Get out of town.
Yeah, but a lot of the cops start showing up, and then this is where, the Breakfast Club principal is like, I got a great idea. We're going to send a bunch of guys in. And Hans is like, we got a plan. We're going to kill them all. And I'm like, wait, how did they not think that would happen, though?
I know.
I don't get it.
Basically, upper management is not great for
LA
cops.
Management.
Not good.
It's almost like they set you up for everything in this movie. Like they started with the take your shoes off so you have no socks.
Yes.
Send them in so we can show why we brought the rocket launcher.
Yep.
Everything.
I know. I was like,
I like
just
that.
Making the cops seem stupid, but it was making the criminals seem smart. I guess. I don't know.
Well, they seemed unstoppable, and so you're like, oh, maybe Bruce Willis won't make it, or he'll have to run out, and they'll get away too. But I don't know, it's just didn't look like it was going that way. I thought he was really screwed when his feet were full of glass, because I will tell you, if I have the smallest shard from Dark Crystal,
shard.
If I have the smallest piece of glass and it bleeds, I'm done for the day. Okay, my foot is up. He had giant pieces of glass in his feet, and he walked a little bit afterwards, and then he was full on running fight scenes. I was like, how is this happening?
Yeah, that's where he does his dramatic monologue where he's like, tell my wife that I love her and I'm sorry. And I was like, John, you could fucking said that.
He's the one thing I have never said to her.
Oh, no.
Is I'm sorry. I was like,
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I can't.
Well, we didn't talk about his tank top. It goes from like white to hunter green, like literally in 5 minutes.
How
There's
did
no
that
way it's the same
happen?
tank top.
And then it disappeared at one point. Or actually, maybe he put it on his feet.
Did they justify why he took a... Did that what happened? Like they
it
had
was
to
after
make
the
him
glass, when he stepped
take
on the
his shirt
glass,
off,
then
yeah.
all of a sudden they cut to him, and I was like, he is shirtless. What?
You
but
know,
it might have been on his feet.
Okay,
now
we
thinking
talked
it.
about this with Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis has like a physique that was kind of like, I think, more attainable. Like it was like he's muscly,
Yeah.
but it wasn't over the top. Where now, who the hell's looking like The Rock? You know what I mean?
right,
Like I
yeah.
feel like he kind of has that like every guy could be like, I can eventually get there.
A couple months of Planet Fitness, you know.
Yeah, and now it's like people have like 15 abs. You're like, that's just not happening. Surgery.
So are you saying, Bridge, that John McClane is an icon because he's relatable? Because
Yes.
he's an everyman.
Oh.
He
Yes.
uses his smarts. He's not that smart, but he thinks about things and he uses his brain. And he's
Yeah.
somewhat capable physically, but not overpowering. He's
Yes.
not The Rock. He's not Schwarzenegger. He's not
Yes.
Stallone. He's not
Yes.
these
Yeah.
guys. Okay, I like that.
And I think he is funnier when he shows his like weak side, which is like fun. Is the like, oh no, I'm gonna die side. Like I just jumped into this duct and I'm gonna fall and die. And you're like, no,
Yeah.
you are gonna die. Yikes.
Yeah, but he doesn't die.
He doesn't.
And that's good. And none of the cops believe him. And then somehow the FBI just roll up, because... Sure.
Well, no. The Hans Gruber says, okay, I have demands. Set all these people free from jail.
Oh, yeah.
And then they were like, we need important people here. We need the FBI or something. And then they come, and I gotta say, they weren't too FBI, which I think FBI is like paperwork. They took out a helicopter and just went and started shooting at people.
They were also like really like stupid and terrible. And they're like, hostages will die. Anyway, let's do it. I was like, hey!
Whoa.
You know,
Not
typically
good.
the FBI is supposed to research, is supposed to have data. Like,
Yeah.
don't you think, like, if this was real, they would have a picture of what John McClane looks like, so when they're on the roof, they just don't shoot at him?
Yeah.
Like, they would see him up there. I mean,
Yeah.
they just hopped in a helicopter and was going to kill anybody who's on the roof. That's what they were going to do.
For real. Crazy.
Somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody in the movie was like, they're literally just going through the like terrorist playbook, which is like what the bad guys wanted, because they were like, yeah, they'll cut the power and then that unlocks the you know,
the
the vault, and then-
electromagnetic field.
Sure, yeah.
I forgot about that. They didn't have to blow it up. They needed the power out. And so they had to take down the
Yes.
power grid of the city. Yo, how 80s is it that they're like, we can't take down these villains, so we need to have everyone on Christmas Eve lose power.
Yep.
It's like, I think I should call the mayor. I'm like, yo, this is so frickin' 80s, and this is why we're in this shit we're in now in 2022. Y'all were all cowboys doing whatever you wanted, not thinking about what would happen.
Yeah, and they're just like freaking flying helicopters all over like reckless animals. My God, I cannot.
It was like, everybody, welcome to the party, pal.
For real.
Yeah.
That was another good line. That was a great line, too. Welcome to the party.
Wow. Oh my God.
I like the one where the FBI comes in and they're like, uh-oh, the FBI, like, they're gonna mess everything up. And Hans is like, no, it's fine. And he goes, it's Christmas. It's a Christmas miracle. And it's like, yes, Hans, that's correct. It is Christmas.
Another Christmas check.
Ding, ding. Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
wow.
Another Christmas check, too. The iconic scene where I think is one of the best death scenes ever in a movie, when Hans falls off the building. You realize that there's a little note that, like, when he was hanging on, holding on to her, the only thing that was holding him up was the watch that Ellis, the Rolex that Ellis gave to McClane's wife.
Oh.
So he was holding on to that. So when they let go of the watch, then he fell.
I loved it.
So it was almost like let going of all of it.
I love
let going
it.
of all the bad feelings about Ellis, giving her the watch and everything like
Let
that.
go of Ellis, who already got shot because he sucked. Yeah.
Right. Which was a Christmas gift. So there's another Christmas plug right there.
Oh.
And that was kind of sneaky, because when we met Ellis, he's doing coke on her desk, and if I was the separated spouse, I'd be like, what's happening? What's happening here?
Woof.
Wow, that was very symbolic.
Bridget, it's also 2022, not like, I don't know what was this, 1987, this movie?
88.
88, okay.
Yeah.
True,
I'm not sure if that was commonplace in an office.
I have a fun fact about him falling. So in that scene, when they filmed it, they were like, all right, we're going to drop you on the count of, I think it was like 5. They were like, when we count to 5, we're going to drop you. And then the guy dropped him on 2. And that's why his reaction was like very, like it looked very like, whoa.
Yo, was everyone just messing with Alan Rickman this whole movie?
I mean, I would too, right? Like, why not? It made a good scene. I love his reaction there. I think it's great.
Who doesn't think this is a Christmas movie? Get out of town.
Come on. And then Let It Snow plays at the end.
With like jingle bells, like ching, 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 ching.
And it's kind of like snow, even though it's papers and debris on fire and ash, but it's like snow. It's like snow.
It's totally snow. And families are back together.
Oh, they
Christmas
are.
magic.
Reporters get punched, thank God. Argyle's there too. Remember, everybody chat for Argyle.
Wow.
Everybody's all at the right place at the end.
We forgot Argyle finally decides to take action and he crashes into the coder dude.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that. And then he punches him. I was like, all right.
And he was really proud of himself. And I was like, yeah, good for you.
Yeah, good
and
job.
he finished the job. If he doesn't get a tip, I'm going to say that's just rude. If he doesn't get 5 stars.
5 stars for Argyle.
Oh my God.
Would you would give him 20%?
I would give him more. Absolutely. Oh my God, Dave, you remember our Uber rides in Chicago?
Oh God.
I went out to dinner with Bridget in Chicago and we shared an Uber and she dropped me off the wrong Marriott.
Bridget, what's wrong with you?
We were like out in the outskirts because he was for work. You were like staying and I didn't know where the hell we were. And I was like, okay, bye. And we had definitely been drinking a lot. And I was like, oops, I dropped you at the wrong place.
Oh my God, I'm glad you're alive.
Yeah,
Jesus.
but I'm sorry. That's why I'm not Argyle. So I won't do that to others.
See, Argyle would have got me to my right hotel.
He really would have.
Definitely.
He really would have. Oh my God. Okay, what else do we need to talk about? Like, have we like covered everything? My God, fantastic.
Well, at the end, it's not only is it Christmas movies usually have like snow too, right? But this was like it was snowing Barabons because it was L.A.
Oh, was it the Barabons snowing?
It was.
Oh,
it was.
I thought it was just fire and brimstone.
The most
it was
80s
Barabons.
thing ever is money is snowing from the sky.
It was Barabons snowing.
God.
Wow,
$6 million worth of Barabons, which is ridiculous, by the way. But
600 million, right?
Yeah, 600 million. Yeah,
Wow.
600 million Barabons.
Oh my God.
Which back then is now like $400 trillion.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
That's quick math for you, folks.
When he said it, I actually double taked. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And you're surprised that there's people here trying to rob you?
Yeah, for real.
God.
Yeah. The only thing I did think about with this whole movie is like, why didn't we just go into this building when no one was there?
It's a good point.
Because I think they were trying to like pretend they were terrorists and therefore a different reason than robbing. Because none of the police could figure out that they're literally robbing. And like nobody figured that out. And I'm kind of like, but isn't that like...
And they needed the power grid off. Okay, yeah.
Did everybody seem like disappointed that they were like, didn't they call them like petty thieves? You're just petty thieves.
Yeah, and then Hans is like, I'm actually a great thief. Watch out.
No, but like, what?
Whoa,
$600 million in Barabons is not petty.
No.
It's not. And having to play, video games to open a vault. And, yeah, I mean,
well,
that's a lot of work.
This was 80s, like 1988 terrorism, where they were disappointed that they weren't terrorists. They were disappointed that they were thieves, which is kind of weird for a movie now.
Right.
So weird.
Yeah, very weird.
It's very jarring, even the way they use the word terrorist, because I think people that's gotten all mucky now.
Mm-hmm.
People would not think that it's Alan Rickman.
No.
Unfortunately. No. But my God, I think we hit it all. Did we hit it?
Well, I really liked some of the things that were like the surprises. Like, for example, when you brought up the fact that when Alan Rickman falls off the building, when they said 1, 2, 3, I like that.
Yeah.
It was almost the same thing when he was with Bruce Willis in that scene that was completely improvised, where they get the... I think that the audience noticed that. I noticed it.
Yeah.
And it was such good acting that it made... That's why it made the movie so iconic.
Yes.
Almost similar to... I don't know if you guys ever did The Godfather, if you ever did that before, but I'll come back for that one.
But boy.
If you'd like to invite me back, I'll come back for that. But I'll spoil something, but there's a scene where they send Michael Corleone in the back to retrieve the gun behind the toilet. They actually put it further away than where he expected it, so his face is a little scared because he can't find it, and they left it in the movie because he's a young actor. He was a young, unknown actor trying to find that. So it's similar to what you just said about Alan Rickman, where he didn't expect to be dropped so early, and they captured it.
I dig it.
So I think that's really cool.
It is fun when movies do that. That was like, Bridge, you remember in, because you bring up The Godfather, you're making me think of Goodfellas with Joe Pesci's mom, where she, one scene, she's just like, they're just like, just ramble, and then she like whips out a painting. Do you remember that, Bridge? And she's just like talking about this painting. We were like, what a weird scene. But then we found out it was like all ad-libbed. So we're like, okay, it's fine. After
they had brutally murdered someone, they're just having dinner with his mom, and she's like, look at the painting.
She's like,
at 3 a.m, too. And the funny thing about that whole ad lib is that the guy in the painting kind of looked like the guy in the trunk, and he says, "Looks like someone we know."
Oh God. Oh my God. Dave, do you have Netflix?
I have Netflix.
Okay, so there's a series, I guess, called The Movies That Made Us on Netflix.
Yes,
and they did Die Hard.
Oh,
they did like a couple Christmassy themed ones a couple years ago, and it's just like all the making of it and like fun facts and things like that. So like a lot of the stuff you're talking about, I was like, oh, I feel like that's in there. Like, oh my God, you should check it out. I think you would really like it. It was really cool.
I've seen that show, a couple other ones. I recently watched the Friday the 13th one. I don't know why.
So good.
It's great. It's a great series, but I haven't seen the Die Hard one yet. But I think what was so great about this movie is that it really changed how we watch action movies, and it changed how, like Bruce Willis going from a comedic actor. He was like basically just a bartender, comedic actor.
Crazy.
Working with Sybil Shepherd on Moonlighting, which was a great show, by the way.
Yeah.
But he was just this goofy type of guy who was like an every guy who you could relate to, that everybody liked. Females liked him, males liked him, that kind of thing. And then he just became this John McClane character.
Yeah.
Changed everything. It really did.
I freaking love it. I freaking love it. But I will conclude with, this is a Christmas movie.
Absolutely.
100%.
You said music in the beginning, middle, and end. There was a form of snowing. There was a hat. There was a ho ho ho.
There was
a reference
Christmas
to
trees,
Christmas Eve. And there was presents like watches.
And the lady's name, Holly.
That's true, Holly. Also, when McClane, after he gets out of the limo with Argyle, he walks inside, he whistles Jingle Bells when he's in the elevator.
There you go.
See,
there you go.
Gosh.
And it's a Christmas party. You're right. And the Christmas gift was the one that saved her life when Hans came off her wrist, the watch.
It is.
It's the holiday season, and if you don't feel the warm spirit, get out of here.
Get out. All right, you're not welcome. You can go with Hans, fall off the building.
Okay.
And it launched a lot of careers. Alan Rickman became a star, who was also in Love Actually, which is another Christmas movie. Which
my God, and he was a jerk in that movie.
We don't like it.
No,
he was bad. No, he wasn't good in that one.
Actually,
he was
maybe
a good actor,
he learned from this Christmas party, and that's not good.
Yeah. Wow.
I knew you would be amazing on this podcast because they're our dad's side of the family. Like, you could talk and you could tell a story and you could just jump right in. And I feel like, I don't know, this is just so fun. Like, I'm so glad you got to do it. And we should do, if you mentioned The Godfather, and
I'll
remember, Katie, I remember Dad saying to me, so we're the most Irish named family ever, and yet our father literally thinks he's like this Italian mobster. And I remember him saying to me, he was like, I was like, I don't know, at 13, and he was like, we need to sit down and watch this movie. And he had the box set of all Godfathers, and we had to watch every single movie. It was like he was giving me school. Like, while others were doing math homework, he was like, you have to watch The Godfather with me. I was like,
wait, he didn't do that with me. What?
Probably because I like fell asleep, and I was like, these are inappropriate for my age, Dad.
He also made you watch The Exorcist, so maybe he learned that, like, okay, I gotta stop doing this to my.
Well, but I think you should come on. We should do The Godfather.
I'll do The Godfather.
Get our dad to come on, and you, and I feel like we'll all just like laugh at him because he'll be so ridiculous.
I actually watch The Godfather with my kids every Thanksgiving. We watch it. We watched it this year.
Oh my God,
they love it.
That's so fun.
We watch it. Part 1. We watch Part 1. Sometimes we try to watch Part 2, but then it's too long. You get tired and you fall asleep. But we watch Part 1 every time. It's a masterpiece.
Oh God, it's so good.
I did a top 50 list of all my favorite movies, and that was number 1.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. And I took it very serious. As you know, I took it very serious.
Since doing this, my number 1 favorite movie is Jaws, and Katie's number 1 is Jurassic Park.
It is.
Jaws is in my top 20.
Those are some solid choices.
Yeah.
I like Jurassic Park, but it wasn't in my top 50, to be fair. Jaws was in my top 20.
All right.
Godfather was number 1. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, Dave, we do kind of weird stuff at the end, so
Okay.
hang on tight, because
I can't wait.
Hang on tight.
Hang on to the building and not someone's watch. Am I right?
Nope, don't do
That's
it.
very good.
Okay.
That's good. I like that.
Very
All
good.
right.
Very
And
good.
let it snow bearer bonds.
All right, so Bridge, it's my turn to pick a movie. It is still the holiday season. And I do have another holiday movie.
I'm
Now,
ready for it.
This movie we did not do yet, but we did the sequel of it. And it's kind of the same movie, but different setting.
I don't know, actually.
Okay, an 8-year-old troublemaker must protect his house from a pair of burglars where he's accidentally left home alone by his family during Christmas. We're doing Home Alone.
Wow.
The first one.
And that house is like around the corner from me.
What? Oh yeah, Chicago.
Remember, didn't I send you the post that it turned into an Airbnb that you could win like a night or something to like stay in the house?
Oh God.
Whatever.
Jesus, I hope no one breaks in.
So wait, why did I don't want to interrupt what you guys do, but why did you do part 2?
Yeah, why did? Oh, I know,
Because
Katie, didn't I
we-
suggest Home Alone and you yelled at me and said only we have to do Home Alone 2?
I think the second one's better, personally.
Is that with the Wet Bandits? That's what is Pesci and
Yes.
okay, the Wet Bandits was part 2. I like that one.
That's the one in New York where
Yes.
it's like very Christmassy and New
Oh
York.
my
and
God.
Maybe we're a little East Coast
Yo.
bias. I don't know.
No,
But
Katie, did I send you the meme where it had a picture of the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2?
Yeah.
And Pierce
Pierce
Morgan,
Morgan.
and it was like, you can't convince me these aren't the same people because they have the same face. Oh my God, I'm dead.
yeah, there's no pigeon lady in the first one, but there is the like creepy old man neighbor dude who has a shovel, and I don't know who he looks like, but yeah. So we're gonna do Home Alone.
I
First
love
one.
it.
Yeah,
I love it. Home Alone is a great choice.
Home Alone. We're doing that, and Dave, feel free to
Yes.
jump in with this weird part because we do this too.
Okay.
Bridge and Dave. Just want to let you guys know if we're hanging out at a Christmas party and it's Christmas Eve and a bunch of terrorists come in
Ooh.
and, it gets kind of heated. I would call the police, I think. Somehow. I don't know how, but I'd do it. And I'd also tell them, we need a sofa out here, all right? Nobody's pregnant, but hurry up. Thank you.
Kate and Dave,
And that's what I do. Bridget,
if you were on a plane and someone tells you, don't worry about jet lag, you just take your little your shoesies off and put your feetsies on the carpet. From the back row, I will run up the plane and say, no, don't listen to that man. He's an idiot. And I will save your feetsies. Okay?
Wow.
That's how much I love you guys.
I would have had my headphones on and would not even have heard the guy.
Yeah.
So therefore,
He'd be ignoring the whole
when
time.
the shooting
Oh my God.
stopped, I would still have my shoes on, so I wouldn't have any barefoot problems.
There
Plus,
you
I
go.
plus,
yes.
I would never have to clean up because I'm not in the 80s. There's no cleaning up. There's no
You-
like showering, cleaning
You're
up.
already clean. You're already
Yeah,
good.
I don't understand the cleaning up. See,
You don't
that's
need to
that
clean
was
up.
his,
Yeah.
so I
You
wouldn't have
needed
to.
to clean up at the end. It was a mess.
Oh,
At,
did he?
at the end, you need to clean up. Absolutely.
We all did. Wait.
Why was he wearing a jacket at the end? It's in L.A. too. Like, why was he cold?
Yeah, I
That's
don't
true.
know.
It wasn't cold out. Just because bearer bonds were snowing down didn't mean it was cold out.
I don't know though. We're arguing the Christmas movie, so let's just
I'm
pretend
sorry.
it's cold.
True.
Okay.
You're very true.
That-
West
maybe,
Coast.
yeah, it was part of the Christmas theme. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Well, and listeners, if you also think that this is a Christmas movie
Oh.
and that Argyle was great and, when he was there, he was cool. And that's fun. And if you think that John McClane is a really cool action star and this movie made you laugh a lot, like it did for us.
Yippee-ki-yay!
You
Yippee-ki-yay.
should write us a review. We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. And we also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So our cousin Dave requested Die Hard. And here
Yes.
and we did it, and it was awesome.
And I just figured out that Argyle is socks, which could have helped Bruce Willis because he was barefoot.
Oh, the foot connection. Look at that.
Wait.
Oh, no.
Kate,
Wow, I'm
Kate,
sorry.
I know
late.
it's...
I know.
I
It was
know
at the it was at the buzzer. I'm sorry.
No, because I'm going to bring you back, but we're going to talk about something else. Kate, is it my turn to tell people to give us money?
Yes.
So people, you can buy us coffee, which is money, but what I really want to talk about, so do that. That's great. Give us money. But what I really want to talk about is the merchandise. And Dave, I'm going to send you something. However, Katie, I don't know if you know this about Dave, but he knows everything about merchandise because he puts every logo on these. And so how do I find something that you don't have? Do I go clothing? Do I go accessories? What do I do? Because I know what I'm going to put on it. I just need to know what you want because you're a hard person to get this for since you're an expert.
Yes.
So what do you want?
Oh, I don't know. This is the gift, being on here and being able to interact. And I've been listening to all your episodes, and I finally can be part of it.
All right, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna go off
It
the
brings
cuff.
me so much joy, and that's a Christmas word
surprise.
too. Joy. Ode to
Christmas
joy. Ode to joy was the music at the end too, by the way. Ode to joy.
Wow.
It was.
Okay, fine. Then I'm just gonna yippee-ki-yay that and figure it out.
Yippee-ki-yay. Welcome to the party, pal. You should actually, when I joined today, you should have said, welcome to the party, pal.
Oh, we didn't think of that. Oh my gosh.
Wow,
All right.
wow.
So check all that out, listeners, and we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Home Alone. Woo-woo.
Buzz's girlfriend. Woof.
Woof.
See you next
Movie.
week. Love ya.
Awesome.
Thanks, Dave.
Awesome.
You're the
Thanks,
best.
Dave.
We love you so much.
This was amazing. I love you guys. It's
I
amazing.
love you so
All right.
much.
We love you.
And let me know when you want to do The Godfather. I'm back.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Woo.
Bye-bye.
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 Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'veseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.